we go. Hi, everybody. My name is Barbara Drazga, aka the Deal Diva, and you are on a webinar where we're going to talk about owning your listing on Amazon by creating bundles where you source the products for the bundles through wholesale sources and factory direct sources. And if you feel free to go visit bundlemasterclass.com, I just finished it up today. So the website is now live and it's over there, so you can go check it out if you listen to me in the background and check out bundlemasterclass.com. Also, if you're not yet in the Facebook group, it's Deal Diva Barbara Facebook group. It's facebook.com/groups/Deal Diva, DEALDIVA, and go ahead and join the conversation. We talk about all things and anything online seller related. And then you can check out some free videos I've done and a lot of articles on how to source wholesale for your online business, specifically for Amazon FBA businesses. And you can go to dealdivawholesale.com and dig in and listen to some videos, after this webinar, of course, but tomorrow maybe in the background, and read some articles on how to source wholesale. So let me just stop the share here and have a face-to-face chat with you guys. So I don't know, I'm sure I know a lot of you who are on this webinar and on the replay, but I saw a lot of people sign up who I didn't recognize, which is so cool that you found me on Facebook and through other Facebook groups and Facebook ads. So just wanted to tell you a little bit about who I am before I get started, and also what we're going to cover tonight or today. So whenever you're watching this webinar, it might be during the day too, just so that you have an outline of what to expect from this webinar. So my name is Barbara Drazga, and I'm an Amazon seller, and I also have other both online and offline sales channels. I have multiple businesses in different niches, and I've been selling on Amazon since 2015, but I've been sourcing wholesale since 1998, it turns out. I had to kind of do the math today. I couldn't believe it was that long, but I'll tell you more about that later. What we're going to cover tonight is tonight's class is going to be on, let me share the screen here. We're going to talk about how to own your listing on Amazon. So we're going to cover the importance of owning your Amazon listing, why it's important that you're the only seller on it moving forward, the importance of niche market research before you go out and buy any product, the importance of doing competitive research to find out what the entire landscape is before you enter a niche, how to create an added value product, so not just throwing a bunch of stuff together, putting it in a poly bag and sending it off, but really looking at your target market to find out what they want and then meet their needs by adding extra value to your bundled product. Using wholesale and factory direct sourcing to create a very niche bundle. And then what are the elements of a winning listing if we have time? We're going to limit this to an hour, but I promise you when you join us for the Bundle Masterclass, go to bundlemasterclass.com. You'll get everything and more. This is just an hour, kind of not a teaser. I'm going to give you a lot of content, but it's just an hour intro to bundling on Amazon. And I just wanted to ask your permission real quick. I'm going to stop sharing this. Wanted to ask your permission real quick. I just launched this new course today. It is May 15th, and put the finishing touches on the website today, and I'm scrambling to make this a reality for you guys. And I'm gonna give you a killer offer. At the end of this webinar, I'm going to offer you an unbelievable discount. I shouldn't have said killer offer. I hate the, I'm going to give you a great discount on being the first people in the Bundle Masterclass course, the very first. And only the people who have signed up for this webinar are going to get this offer. Okay, so have your permission to do that. Thank you very much. Go ahead and put yes in the box if you're okay if I tell you a little bit about the course at the end of this training. Yes, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I promise I'm going to make it worth your while. I promise you I'm going to make it worth your while. And you guys know me. A lot of you I see on here, you've taken some private coaching from me that I charge like $150 an hour for. So the price of this course is unbelievable before the discount. So if you go to bundlemasterclass.com, you can kind of, peek ahead, but I promise I'm going to give you a huge discount even off of that great price. So hang on till the end. But let me talk a little bit about myself first. In writing the web copy today, one of the things that I wanted to share was what my background was, and why you should want to learn from me or listen to me. So I really had to dig deep into how long I've been actually selling online. And it turns out that I've been selling online since 1998. Is that crazy? Not only have I been selling online since 1998, I know I'm kind of giving up my age here, guys, but I was private labeling, but I didn't know what it was called. I didn't know it was called private labeling. So what I did was 1998 is when emojis that we use every day now, we take them for granted, right? Well, emojis were like a new thing, and there were maybe 20. And they were coming up with new ones every day, but there were 20 basic ones, the smiley face, the wink, right? So I thought, how cool would it be to take those emojis and make a mouse pad out of it, right? So in Word, I put 12 emojis on a grid, nothing creative, just emojis on a mouse pad, so people would have it right next to their desk. So when they're typing online, they can remember how to make a smiley face. Crazy, we don't think about that now, right? We take it for granted. But at the time in 98, people were trying to figure out, what do I hit on this keyboard to make that winky thing? I don't know. How do I stick out my tongue? And I stuck it on coffee mugs and T-shirts too, and I sold them on eBay. So I guess I was doing private label before I even knew it was called private label. To me, it was just identifying a hot market and bringing a product of use to that market and getting them to buy by writing great copy and creating great listings. To me, it was just part of the process. So I want you to get your mind around, your mindset around any misconceptions you have or fears you have or blocks that you have with putting together a bundle, doing private label in any form, creating your own listings. I challenge you just during this webinar to kind of let that go. Because I didn't know nothing from nothing. I think I got them printed at Vistaprint, and I still did it. And I think some of the stuff that sometimes we get held back by just being afraid to take a leap. So I'm here to guide you through that, because I'm usually not afraid to take a leap, unless there's like physical danger involved. I might not bungee jump, but I can help you get some of your own products up on Amazon. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. A little bit about how you can own your listing on Amazon and do it by getting from alternative sources other than RA and OA. So how did I get on Amazon? It was kind of a roundabout thing. Clearly I knew what Amazon was for many years, but I was intimidated by getting started on it. It looked hard, so I just kept putting it off. And then finally, I came across some bed sheets. I swear this ties in. Hang in there with me. So I came across some bed sheets, a guy who was selling new bed sheets at an auction. So of course I talked to him, and I bought a couple of sets of bed sheets from him at pretty much his cost, I find out. And I start to sell them on a Facebook group. I put like 6 sets up there on the Facebook group, and people started fighting over them. And I thought, ooh, okay, bed sheets. Yeah, people need them. They need to replenish them. They need to change them every once in a while. And people have multiple beds in their house. So this could be a really cool product and niche market to go after. So I tried to reorder from the guy, and his phone was shut down. I really tried. I kept calling. I had his name, his card. I couldn't find him. So what's the girl to do? I Googled wholesale bed sheets. And before I knew it, I own a bedding company, poshlinens.com. I own a bedding company. I have since, for 4 years now. So that was going really well selling locally. And I thought, okay, there's got to be a way to sell this stuff online. And Amazon's got a lot of customers, so why don't I learn how to sell on Amazon? So that thought popped into my head August of 2015. And I took a month, and if you're all Amazon sellers, there's a learning curve with Amazon, right? So it took me a month of feeling like I was going back to school and through a grad program, figuring out how to sell on Amazon, right? And I started with retail arbitrage, racing around, picking up stuff at stores, because it was right before Q4. And I just started buying toys and everything other than selling bed sheets. And that's how I got started on Amazon. And then I realized that, the background I had in sourcing things from auctions, from liquidation, buying out whole stores, wholesale, that's a lot of stuff that people who were sourcing at retail and online arbitrage, they just weren't doing, or they didn't know how to do. So brand restrictions happened, right? The two ugly words since last year. Brand restrictions happened, and the light came on for me. I'm like, I can't do retail and online arbitrage anymore. I get that they could be really lucrative models for a lot of people, and they are. but it's not the kind of business I want to build. I want to build a business that is replenishable, long-term. I can outsource and delegate a lot of it. I'm not touching product. So I went back to my roots, and I'd been sourcing wholesale, but not on a larger scale. And I cycled back around last summer, and it's like, okay, if I'm going to build a business, it's going to be based on wholesale and creating my own products. That led to, just last month, I made my first trip to China. I went to 6 trade shows in 11 days. And, my eyes were open. The true cost of products, what's available out there. And it really opened my way of thinking to, I can pretty much bring anything to Amazon. It's not a matter of finding sources that already have product that I can sell. It's the sourcing part is the easier part of it. And that our focus as Amazon sellers must first be on identifying a fanatical niche market, or niche markets that are replenishable, that they really need and want something to solve a problem, and then bring a product or a suite of products to those niche people, those niche customers that solve their problem. So I think a lot of people start in the wrong place. They start with, scanning wholesale lists, which I do too, right? To look for opportunities. And then if they don't find anything, they get frustrated and they move on. So I'm going to challenge you to switch your thinking to focusing first on what customers need and want and desire, and what problems they have that you can help them solve by bringing products to them, by putting your name on it, putting multiple products together, so bundling, and getting your products from multiple sources and packaging it creatively in your way so that nobody can compete against you. So I know I've just dumped a lot of information on you, so let me cycle back around to the chat here. Is everybody with me? Just say yes in the chat. Everybody got me? Diana, I'm not sure what you're writing there. Yes, awesome. Thank you, guys. Thanks for giving me that little validation here. I'm trying to fit as much in as I can for this hour, and we'll probably go a little bit over, but I just want to fit a bunch of stuff in for you. So let's talk brand restrictions. Boy, did I have a scare last year, and I bet every one of you has a story. I bought a pallet of Pokemon toys from a liquidation company that I buy a lot of stuff from. And don't be afraid of liquidation, you just have to do it right. So I got this pallet of Pokemon toys, and when I ordered them, they were free and clear. I was ready to go. I could just list them. The pallet shows up. I scan, I go to list, and I'm restricted. And I have this pallet of toys in my garage. And now I didn't panic. I was a little bit annoyed. I'm like, okay, where else can I sell them, right? No problem. It is a problem. It's kind of an inconvenience, but that was the wake-up call for me. And I know every one of you have had a wake-up call where you source something out of RA or OA, it shows up and you rescan it, and boom, you can't sell it. So I know a lot of sellers who have, that's their wake-up call. That was my wake-up call last late summer, headed into Q4. Here I have a pallet of Pokemon toys. Now, the odd thing is, about a week and a half later, I let it sit for a week and a half and didn't do anything with it. And then I scanned it again, and it was not restricted. So there was stuff going on. So I want to talk about the stuff going on so we can understand what Amazon's doing. So Amazon's getting hit from all different sides with scammers and people hijacking other people's accounts. I don't want to single out any one country, but there's just a lot of fraud going on Amazon right now. So Amazon's number one obligation is to their customers and their platform, right? And yeah, they love us and they care about us because 48% of the products, last I heard, sold on Amazon come from third-party sellers. But if they're not protecting their brand, their platform, their customers, then we don't have a platform to sell on if Amazon fails because of those things. So they're going to make choices that are best for their platform first. So you have a choice as sellers, guys. We have a choice to either scream into the storm and get all mad about Amazon did this today and that, or just be the master of your own sailboat and reset your sails. Does that make sense? I like that metaphor. I used it on the website today. Okay, so I'm not a sailor, but I like that metaphor. So first I want to challenge you to don't get upset when Amazon makes decisions. Just understand why they have to make decisions. And maybe they're not the best decision at the time for long term, but they have to do something short term to handle this influx of craziness that's happening right now in order to come out the other side having a cleaner platform for everybody. Make sense? Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's go back to what we're going to learn tonight. No suspensions. Yeah, a lot of people getting suspended too. And by the way, if you guys are having suspension issues, message me on Facebook. I've met a couple of people who do suspension counseling and help you get unsuspended, and they're really, really awesome people. And I'll toss. I don't know if they have any openings, but if you're having a suspension problem, message me, and I'll put you on to the right person to help you out. I don't do suspension prevention or any of that, but I know I've met a couple of people that I really like and I would go to if I had issues. Okay, so another thing you have when you don't own the listing is you don't have any control over your content. You've got price tanking, right? We know all the reasons why we want to own our listing. And bundling is basically, it's just private label. You know, the word bundling is kind of a catchphrase, but it is private label. You're bringing your own product. The end result is that bundle of products that you've chosen. You're bringing that to Amazon's platform. And then you're protecting that listing by putting, you know, your name on it, your brand on it, so that nobody else can go and source those same items, right? So you want to create a bulletproof bundle. You want to really secure your listing so nobody can jump on it. And I show you how to do that in the course. There's different levels. I think the later modules on how to bulletproof your listing and make it competition proof, and we'll go over that at the end of the webinar. So the importance of niche market research. So just to circle back around again, let me share my screen and show you where we're at. All right, so we covered the importance of owning your Amazon listing. Now we're going to talk about the importance of niche market research before sourcing a product. And I know that might sound backwards to some people because you've been taught to look for the product first, right? But I'm a real estate investor, and one of the things that I was taught by one of my mentors many years ago was have an exit strategy before you buy. Have it sold before you buy. Know what you're going to do with something before you go out and source it. So niche market research is, I believe in finding fanatical niche markets. So people who love white dachshund puppies. How niche is that, right? Or just people who like dachshund dogs. Now that's a niche. So then I can source any product I want related to people who love dachshund dogs. Does that make sense? So instead of going out and saying, well, maybe I'll sell dog collars because, you know, the dog market's pretty big. Well, yeah, and there's a lot of competition on it because it's big. Now, what if you can niche it down to a subgroup of people who are really fanatical about one specific breed, or they're fanatical just about baby puppies or racing dogs, or right? So find a fanatical niche, and then you can go source or have made for you a dog collar with dachshunds on it or greyhounds on it. Or you could do a greyhound birthday pack, and this is just off the top of my head, for people who rescue greyhound racing dogs after they're done racing, right? That's a whole thing. That's a whole sub niche there. So you create for people who have adopted these racing greyhounds, you create a gift packet for, new greyhound family member with everything greyhound related. So if you start with the niche market and what their needs and desires are, you're more likely to put together a bundle of items that will sell better because you're approaching it from what they need and want, not what you can get cheap. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions? Go ahead and write, yeah, I'm good in the chat, or ask me any questions real quick. You're good? Awesome. You guys rock. And if you do have questions, put them in the chat. I might not get to them during this webinar because I want to dump a lot of info on you, but I will cycle back around, I promise. And when I send out the replay, I'll put in the email, anybody who asks questions, I'll put your question and I'll write an answer if I know the answer. And if I don't know the answer, I'll go out and I'll find out before I send the email, okay? So the importance of doing competitive research. So now you found, let's just run with this, this greyhound, racing greyhound adoptees, okay? We'll just run with that as an example. So now you need to find out how many other people are going after that niche market. So you want to see who your competitors are. And the reason for that is, one, to see if that niche market is too saturated with competition, but more importantly, where are the holes, right? Where are the holes in that? So maybe all of your competitors, there are 3 main competitors, and they're all putting a dog collar, a dog leash, and a party hat. Welcome home, right? But they're not putting things that people might really need and want. They just put the party hat in there to make it a bundle that nobody else can jump on. So you want to look at the reviews, and people who bought this also bought. On Amazon, when you scroll down, you all know this. It says people also bought this. And you look at the related products, and you see what things people are really buying and wanting. So maybe they need a light up collar, and they need, because greyhounds are really thin, they're really wiry, maybe they actually need a body harness, not a leash. And maybe greyhounds have certain colors. Maybe there's black, white, and gray and brown, right? Different. Maybe there's 4 different colors in the greyhound family. So maybe they want, a pink one for girls, or a black one to match the black. So you want to start digging through the reviews of some of the better selling products for greyhound lovers, and find out what people are saying positively and what they're saying negatively. So they might say, man, I really love this collar, but I wish it lit up, or I wish it was reflective at night. And then you just start making a list, okay? You make a checklist of, these are all the ways that I can improve a product to compete against this listing. Does that make sense? You want me to say that again? So you look for all the holes in the market and in the product, in your competitor's product, and then you find ways to create added value in your competing product, so that you're overcoming the objections of the people who bought the other products. Make sense? Okay, Marcia, let's take a break here. Marcia says, where do you find niche market trends? So glad you asked, Marcia. I did 2 videos. I'm really huge on doing fanatical niche market research. And I did 2 videos on those, and they're going to be on dealdivawholesale.com under the video section. They're free. Go watch those suckers, because it's going to give you a ton of ideas. But it's as simple as picking up a magazine, or going to the bookstore and looking at the magazine sections to see the different types of niche markets that magazines have been created for, from boating to bicycle racers to, right? And then you look inside those magazines, and you can see advertisements for products. As an example, this is just one idea. There are tons and tons of ideas in those videos, but just one. So then you take that product and you type it into Amazon, and then you're off to the races, no pun intended. And you can start digging deep and looking at competing bundles, and type in whatever that product is, and then bundle after it. And what you want to do is not find necessarily the specific product, but you want to ask yourself this question. Write this down if you have a pad of paper. Who would buy this? And then the next question is, why? You want to get into the head and the mindset of your customer. Have you ever gone into a store and done scanning, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe the rag is amazing on these glasses, but who the heck would buy these? Right? But I'm going to make money on them, so I'm selling them, right? So if you find out who would buy these glasses, what problem these are solving, then you can put the glasses together with a glass holder, with maybe silver and gold glasses, girly glasses. You can make them bling, right? You can put together you can do a little string around the neck, and a glasses case, and right. Once you find out that people over a certain age need glasses in order to see their computer screen, right? And then what else? Maybe you could put together with reading glasses. I've seen these screens that you put directly in front of your computer screen, right? You place it on your computer. It's like this anti-glare screen, right? Or maybe there's a screen that will magnify the computer screen. So once you understand why somebody needs reading glasses, then you can create a value-added bonus package that puts a bunch of things together that all together solve their problem in a bigger way than just a pair of reading glasses. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys? Say yes. I know I'm going fast. Say yes if you have any questions. Ask them real quick. Awesome. Good. So Stephen asked how many products you put in a bundle. I'm going to be like an attorney here and say it depends. So it's not about the product, Stephen. It's not about the product. It's about what do you need to put in that bundle to really solve a customer's problems and make it so they look at that product listing, they look at that bundle and they go, oh my gosh, I have to have that. I must have that. I don't care what, click buy now. So it's not a matter of, well, you only put 3 pieces in a bundle. It's not an exact equation. There are different, if you come at it from the perspective of your customer and find out what needs to be in that bundle from their perspective, that's what you put in the bundle. Make sense? Okay, good. Looks like we're all on track. I don't see a lot of other questions, so we're just going to move on here. So, importance of doing competitive research. I already told you guys that. You want to find out what the market holes are, what people are missing, right? What your competitors are missing, what they're not doing, what they're being lazy about, right? Really get into the head. If you start in the head of your consumer, if you start with their mindset and you ask, what do these people need and why? Why are they buying this kind of product? What problem is it solving for them? Then you can start sourcing products that also solve that problem. And there's your bundle. Make sense? Okay, how to create an added value product. We just talked a little bit about that. But there are other ways besides just buying products from, you can buy it from a bunch of different wholesalers, and I highly recommend this, that you source from multiple sources when you do a bundle. And then also you want to put something of your own in there. So here's some ideas. For instance, I bought a liquidation of about 900 coffee mugs with a certain thing on it. That was a fanatical niche market. But there are other people selling these coffee mugs. So what I did was I put a crossword puzzle with it that I had auto-generated. Just Google free crossword puzzle or crossword puzzle generator, and also word search puzzle generator. And I went to Vistaprint and I printed a double-sided, right? The crossword on one side and the word search on the other side. And all you do is you just type in the words that are related to your to that target product, that are related to what was on that mug, right? And then it generates it for you. And then you take that JPEG file and you send it to Vistaprint and you print out 100 of them or whatever to test it out, or 50 of them or 20 of them. And then I ordered from AliExpress 48 pens with skulls on it. I'll just tell you, it was a coffee mug with skulls, and people like skulls. There's a certain submarket of people who like the Day of the Dead skulls. So I did a Day of the Dead crossword puzzle, a Day of the Dead word search puzzle, and then I found Day of the Dead pens, just ballpoint pens on AliExpress, and I bought 48 of them, and I paid like 20 cents each, maybe even less. There's my bundle. Now I write some marketing copy around it. You know, feel like you're dead when you wake up in the morning. Here's a great way to wake up, get your brain juices going, and have some coffee on top of it, right? But all themed with not just some pen, but a pen that's got that image on it, that same image on it, and a crossword puzzle that has the words in it for people who like skulls. Does that make sense? I got you guys? You there? Okay. Okay, so how do you add value added? Think outside the box. So another way you can do value added is, I have some suppliers, some wholesale suppliers in the States who will actually, I can choose a couple things from their catalog and say I want product A and product B together, and I'm going to ship you product C, and I'll order it from AliExpress, ship product C to you. They'll put them all in a box for me and put my label on the box and mail all of that into Amazon for me. Mind-blowing, right? So I'm not paying shipping twice. They're not shipping me individual products to a prep center. I have to pay a prep center. They will actually put, and I have several suppliers in the US who will do this. And you know how I found out they would do it? Because I asked. I never thought to ask before, and I bet you I have other suppliers that I buy from, wholesale suppliers, who would do it. I just haven't asked them yet. So think a little bit outside the box. Ask, what's the worst they could say? No, right? But now you've got systems in place and suppliers who are going to do the work for you, because they're thrilled. If you're buying 2 of their products in that bundle, they have to ship it anyway, right? So it's not a whole lot more work for them to put your Amazon label on the boxes and send them off. And you just pay them a little bit extra to put your labels and put a label on the outside box. And yeah, they're happy, because if you sell more, they sell more to you. Make sense? So if you guys have wholesale suppliers already, ask that question. Ask if they'll put a couple of their products together for you, put it in a box and stick your label on it. And you can get the labels at Vistaprint for real cheap. And a lot of these companies also, since they print their own box labels, they have label printing ability, or you can get it cheaper through them. So just ask. Okay, so where are we at? 6:30, we're halfway through. Go ahead and, does anybody have any questions in there? Any concerns, anything you need clarified? And I will take care of that right now before we move on. No, oh, I got to scroll down here. We got 9 new, wow, really cool. How do you get traffic to your listing? All right, sorry, I didn't see all these. When you put these bundles together, are they merchant fulfilled or do you send them to Amazon? Yes. So I might keep a couple back. Well, first I'll do, I'll create the listing and get the images up. And as I'm putting things together, if I have physical control of the bundle, if it's with me and not somewhere else, I'll put a merchant fulfilled up while we're putting them together here. And then if it sells, I can put one together and send it out. But then when I send them in, I'll convert the listing to FBA. Okay. Let's see. How long does it take to receive the products from AliExpress? Well, it depends on the supplier. And it depends if you get them air, you know, if you pay a little bit more for shipping. So, you know, anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 weeks. How do you get traffic to your listing? Marcia, that is 3 or 4 webinars all in and of themselves. There are lots of ways to do it. I'll just touch on a couple ways that I do it. I do Facebook ads to my listings. I'll do pay-per-click within Amazon. You can do, now I haven't tried this yet, but I will. You can do a YouTube video describing, you know, how your product functions and the benefits to that user, and post it up on YouTube and get some YouTube keyword and with a link to your listing. There's all sorts of ways to get traffic to your listing. And shameless plug here, go to the brand new bundlemasterclass.com, and there's a link there for a course outline. Click on that and you'll see that we cover traffic sources in the course outline. In fact, I'm bringing in a couple of guest experts who are going to give their opinions. We're going to do videos with them. I'm going to interview them. We're gonna have them give their input on how to drive traffic. So like Rachel Miller, who's like the Facebook guru, she's got her own course on how to create Facebook pages and drive traffic to listings and sell other people's stuff. She's gonna be an expert interviewee in my course, and a couple of other people who use other methods to drive traffic to Amazon, your Amazon listings. They'll also be interviewed in the course. So, Dina says, can you recommend reliable wholesale suppliers in the U.S.? Why, Dina, yes, I can. You guys know that I provide wholesale supplier directories through Gumroad, and thousands and thousands and thousands of suppliers. There are suppliers everywhere. So for me to recommend reliable wholesale suppliers, I mean, I could, but find your own. You know, really niche down and find your own and develop your own relationships with them, because you don't want everybody knowing about your suppliers, right? All right, are you taking the pictures of the products and editing them, or do you have someone else do it? It depends. So the first thing I'll do when I talk to my wholesale suppliers or the factories that I visited in China, they already have product shots. So I'll ask them for those product shots, and all of them have the white background ready to go. But then if it's a bundle, I'll send those individual shots off to somebody else to have them put them all together into one product listing shot for the main image. And then I'll use the individual images as my sub photos. Another way you could do it is just have a light box in your house and take a picture with your phone and send it off to somebody. I found my guy on Fiverr or Upwork. I can't remember. It was Fiverr, but then I hired him. And they'll scrape off the background. There are also services like PicMonkey. PhotoFuse. You can use PhotoFuze, and you can actually take the background off. But I want you to think about, as you ramp up your business and you start where your time is more valuable than somebody you can hire for $3 or $4, you need to really think about what you're investing your time into. So it's not in my best interest to take the background off of images. And at some point, it shouldn't be what you're doing. Your job is to do fanatical niche market research and really dig into the minds of your customers so you can find products that will meet their needs. Then everything else you can delegate. Okay, let's see. Finding wholesalers has been extremely difficult. How do you begin? Google. It's a really easy way. Google. I'm not sure why you're having difficulty, but if you go ahead and private message me on Facebook, Barbara Drazga, Drazga, You can tell me what you're having difficulty in. Maybe I can offer you a quick solution or point you in the right direction, because I don't have difficulty finding wholesalers at all. I go to a lot of trade shows. You can also go to trade show websites and see suppliers, but you want to start with the product, you know, the niche market and then the product. And then you're going to Google, okay, now I need suppliers for bling female reading glasses. You Google female reading glasses wholesale and see what comes up and just start digging. So are you taking pictures of products, editing? With the example you used of cup, puzzle, and pen, do you show all items in your picture? Absolutely. So Kathleen, I'm going to challenge you to go to Seller Central and go into help. And you got to familiarize yourself with what the requirements of a listing are, any listing. Okay, and the requirements of a listing are that anything in that first image has to be everything that the customer is getting. Okay, and it has to fill up, I think 80% of that white space has to be filled up with that product. And there can't be anything, no props or anything else in there. So go ahead and familiarize yourself in Seller Central help section with what the photograph is supposed to look like as the primary photograph. I love your shameless plugs, LOL. Okay, really? Then I'll give you another one, bundlemasterclass.com. I just created this, guys. I'm really proud of it. I'm still creating the content. I just created the website today myself. The only thing I outsourced was that really cool logo, but I wrote all the copy. The course is all mine. I'm going to be doing most of it except for the expert interviews. And I'm really proud of this animal. It's going to be chock full of content, just crazy full of content. And I'm practically giving it away. I'm going to give you guys an amazing discount. Hang in there for a little bit. But to get the first group of people into, it's like a college course. That's how I'm approaching it, where it's going to be registration for a certain amount of time, and then we start the course for 30 days. Okay. But I don't want to start telling you about the course before I give you some more content, but I wanted to just tell you that it's coming up. Hang in there. Any tips for multi-bundling? I'm not sure what multi-bundling is, Janine, meaning the same product. Oh, thank you. The same product in different bundles and or separating into single items, etc. I guess I still don't understand what you mean, but you know, if I wanted to take those skull mugs and create a second bundle where I had private coffee in there that had like a skull on it, and then some mints, I would create a whole different product, and I would have two different bundles using the same product. And I do that, especially if I have a huge volume of something that I got on liquidation. I'll test out different bundles with different types of products in them. So I have purchased some of her listings for wholesalers, and the vetted list she offers is well worth the money. Oh my God, who is this from? Jay. Okay, I don't know who JL is, but thank you. Sorry, what is the website? Bundles. You guys can see I sell wholesale directories. So ignore those haters, Barbara. Somebody's hating me. Okay, whatever. I don't know who's hating me this time, but oh, hi, Jenny. Jenny, how are you? You can go to gumroad.com/Deal Diva, and you'll see a lot of my wholesale directories. Who the heck is hating on me? Okay, enough of that. Multi-pack. So Nick, a multi-pack is different than a bundle. A multi-pack is, that's one glass. If you put 6 together, that's a multi-pack. So we're not talking multi-packs. We're talking bundles that meet the needs of a niche customer, of somebody who's going to look at your listing and say, okay, I'll give you an example. I bought it this week. I wish I brought it in the office because it just came in today. I am desperately trying to get better at guitar. So my excuse has been, is my fingers hurt, right? Whiny. So I found on Amazon on Sunday these little rubber things that go on the tip of your fingers so that you can learn to play guitar without your fingers hurting. So I'm looking through the listings, and of course I buy the listing that has the capo on it, the tuner on it, a guitar strap on it, right? And I buy the listing that's got all this other cool stuff that I can put on this guitar. Make sense? So the added value was all these guys who were just selling those little rubber things, they didn't get my buy. But the guys who were selling me everything and anything related to my new guitar, I bought that bundle. And it's funny, I got them in, and they're all made in China, private labeled from different sources. So it's kind of cool. I might reverse engineer that bundle. Okay, her list, Bess, thank you. How many maximum should be in a bundle? Diana, watch the replay on this, because I answered Stephen when I said it doesn't, it's not about how many products are in a bundle. It's how can you best meet the needs of your customer by putting products in there that solve a problem. Okay, bundlemasterclass.com. Thank you, Nikita, for putting it up there. Let's see. I had a problem joining in. It was full. Oh no! Will there be recurring available? Yes. Can you believe it? Like 300 people signed up for this webinar, which is insane. I was kind of a little bit nervous, I got to tell you. I was a little bit shocked. But I appreciate you guys getting in, and that's kind of cool. But I will do a replay. Just hang in there, and thanks, guys. We all love you. Aww. Okay, so let me get to make sure I've got everything covered here because I want to keep giving you some more content. We've got a few more minutes. Using wholesale and factory direct sourcing. So I did talk a little bit about that. Sourcing products in your bundle, you want to bulletproof these bundles. You want to competition-proof them. So you want to get your products that are in the bundle from different sources and then also put one thing in there, but it has to be related to the bundle and related to what your customer needs and wants. But put something in there that's yours, that can't be copied. Like, for example, you can put a booklet in there. So I sell a chalkboard. I get from one of my wholesaler suppliers. But I made him put chalk with the chalkboard, and then I outsourced the writing of a book, how to do fancy chalkboard writing. So you guys ever go into a coffee shop and you see their really beautiful like pictures and like, how do they do that, right? It's so pretty with their text. It's like calligraphy. It's gorgeous. So I went onto Upwork.com and I hired someone to write me just a little booklet, which is 4x6. And then I had it printed with little staples in the center, and I put that together with the chalkboard and the chalk. Now, can anybody else take that booklet and put it in that bundle? They might be able to find my supplier for the chalk. They can find my supplier for the chalkboard, but nobody else can do that book, the exact book. And I put my company name on the book, right? So I've bulletproofed that bundle. Nobody else can hop on that listing. Does that make sense? Okay, how do you forecast to know how many to buy? James, I can't remember what event I heard it in. I was reading some notes from a conference I was at last year, and it said, test before you buy. So it used to be a time I would pull the trigger on large amounts of like cat scratchers and like large amounts, like a trailer full of stuff. And I got lucky and I was able to sell most of what I bought, but a couple of times I got burnt and I decided to follow the new advice, which is test before you buy. So I negotiate with my suppliers, whether they're Chinese factories or India factories, I also source in India, or my US suppliers, and I ask them, I word my negotiation so that I don't say to them, what's your MOQ, minimum order quantity, and what's my price? I say, look, I want to place a test order for this product so that I can test it out. And once we gain traction, then we can ramp up our ordering. But I'm going to need your best price on that test order so we can, really put advertising behind it, put money into ads and promotion to see if we can get some traction with it so we can make a bigger buy. That's how I word it. And I don't think I've had too many people say no, because they want to help you be successful so that they can make more money by selling more stuff to you, right? They want to sell to you in volume, but they realize that it's not a tested product for your market, so they have to give you some leeway. And a supplier who says, no, we're not going to do that, well, there's plenty of suppliers out there. Just don't worry about it. Don't get all upset and just move on, okay? So to answer the questions here. Okay, so creating a winning listing. We do have a little bit of time. I promised that I would cover this. Let me go back and do a screen share so I could show you our little outline here. This is what I want to cover. Elements of a winning listing. We do have some time. And we talked a little bit about doing photos, and your photographs are your number one because people are visual, right? I know when I was looking for those guitar things, I was looking at the pictures before I looked at the description. So if you're going to spend money on anything right up front, you want to make sure that your photos are top notch. And even if you have to pay someone to come in and do some lifestyle photos. So for instance, for the little guitar finger things covers I bought, this guy that I bought from, he was clearly a private label seller because his photos and his listing were top notch. They were incredible. They got me to buy, right? But he had people playing the guitar with these things on their fingers, but he had a child playing a guitar, he had a woman playing guitar, he had a man playing guitar. So he covered all his bases, and he just put as many lifestyle pictures as he could under the secondary and tertiary pictures to show people how they can use his product in their lives. And that's what you want to do. You're not selling a product. I know this sounds crazy. You're not selling products, everyone. You're selling a solution. That person that I bought from has solved my solution of learning, desperately wanting to get better at playing guitar. My fingers hurt. He has solved my problem, right? To the point where I'm actually like giving him free advertising on a webinar. That's how happy I am with the stuff that I bought from him, right? So you want your customer and Amazon's customer to be that happy with what they bought from you. So that's from the identifying what their problems are, the right product selection, but not just stuffing stuff into your bundle to make it look like there's a lot of stuff, but make the items in there really value added, things that they could really use and will really solve maybe a problem they didn't know they had, okay? And then writing a great listing, taking great pictures, doing your keyword research ahead of time. That actually happens in the research stage. And I go over that in my bundlemasterclass.com. I go over keyword research. In fact, the entire second module is on keyword research. And I'm also going to have a gentleman come in who he's an expert, even more than I am, on keyword research. And we're just going to walk you through showing you how we find hot keywords. Now, a lot of people use merchantwords.com. Great, great tool. But did you know that there are a bunch of other tools out there for keyword research? I use 9. I use 9 different tools. I don't rely on just one, okay? 9 tools. And I'm in the Bundle Masterclass, I'm actually going to do a run through, like a demo of every single one of those tools. And then I'll take the tools, I'll take the keyword research from one tool, and then I'll compare it against another tool, and then I'll merge them all together, and then I've got this huge list of keywords. Does that make sense? And then you write your listings around the keywords. I hope I answered that. So creating a winning listing, yes. How do you forecast how many to buy? Would you use rank of your competitor's bundle to make a judgment on sales? Absolutely, James asked. Would you use rank of your competitor's bundle to help make a judgment on sales and potential? Yes, yes, and triple yes. But you're not going to, I don't copycat somebody else's bundle. I want to make mine better, right? I want to make mine even more relevant to that target market. Now, I also want to see if there's dog collars. If you were to search dog collars, there's a ton of competition in dog collars. I wouldn't necessarily go after a market where there's so much competition that it would cost me a ton of money in pay-per-click and sponsored ads to get any traction. I would dig down into bling dog collars for dachshunds, right? And just find a niche within a niche within a niche. And then another criteria I have for anything I source, hopefully this is helpful for you guys, and I'll talk more about creating your own buying criteria in the Bundles Masterclass. So I choose products that people need. It solves a problem. It is a certain price point. I like my price point on Amazon to be $25 or above, and there's a reason, not $24.95, $25, and I'll tell you why in a second. And I want it to be something that they need to buy every once in a while. So I want them to have to buy, maybe those little rubber thingies are gonna wear out in about 6 months. If I play enough, I'll have to buy them again. I'm going to go back to that guy, right? So I like to sell things that people are going to have to come back and buy again. Okay, so those are some of my buying criteria. I have a lot of others, but I'm really clear on my buying criteria and on my on my product criteria. So I don't go outside of that because it keeps me safe, and this is a business for me. It's not a hobby or a job. I'm an online seller. So if I don't have metrics and criteria, then I could be throwing a lot of money out the door, right? Make sense? So here's why I keep my products at $25. Amazon just changed their free shipping just last week, their free shipping amount to $25. So if you are not a Prime user and you go on Amazon and buy something, I don't know about you guys, before I was a Prime user, I think it was like $35. I would go and I'd put something in my cart that was like $15. Then a couple days later, I'd come back and I'd have to find other products to add to get to that $35 threshold so I could get free shipping. That's before I had Prime. Well, there are a lot of non-Prime users on Amazon. And now the free shipping is at $25 for those non-Prime users. Well, I don't want to price my product at $24.95 because they won't get free shipping on it. So I might lose sales. So I haven't tested this yet because they just changed that shipping amount to $25. But I will test it, and from now on, my bottom price point is going to be 25 bucks. I'll let you know what happens. Okay, what other questions do we have? Actually, if you're creating a bundle, how do you use a competitor bundle? Well, you don't use a competitor bundle other than to see kind of what's selling, and to see what the market is and what they're putting in theirs, and then also to look at the reviews and see what people don't like about that bundle so you can do it better. Okay, so hey guys, I promised you, let's see, would you use rank of competitors? How do you use bundle in your title? Do you use the word bundle in your title? So I checked on Amazon a couple of days ago, and it says you must use the word bundle in your title. I believe you can also use kit, pack, collection, assortment, okay? Check, and Amazon changes their rules all the time, as we know. I always believe in not trying to skirt Amazon's rules, because it's their platform. I'm a seller on it, and I want to keep being a seller on it. So I don't try to do any black hat or gray hat stuff. It's just not the way I run my business. So whatever they tell me to do that is allowable right now, that's what I do. What's the typical life cycle of a bundle? No way to know, Nick. Oh, that's the other thing. There are types of bundles. Some people like to do seasonal bundles, and you can make a ton of money on those.